My wife cheated on me 6 months ago with another woman. Me, male 32. My wife, female 32, of 4 years, had an affair with another woman for 6 months before telling me. She told me 6 months ago. There is so much I could go into detail. I could write pages on this, but instead of doing that, I just want to describe a little bit about her, a little bit about what happened, and the progress I am making. First off, I want to give a little bit of backstory about my wife. My wife always talked about how she wanted to be married and have kids. She would always talk about how she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with 8 kids. When we used to talk about the future, she would talk about how she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I would say that we couldn't afford that because we live in Los Angeles County, and I don't make enough money to support a family by myself, let alone a large family. Eventually, we compromised that we would only have 1 or 2 kids and that she would go back to work part-time in the evenings to avoid us having to pay childcare costs. A few months after she gave birth, I got her pregnant in mid-2021. I remember at the time I felt my whole worldview shift. I knew I needed to make more money. I joined the Navy Reserves to make a little more money. I used to be active duty Navy back in the day, and because of my previous experience, I very much disliked the military for personal and political reasons, but I felt like I needed to do anything to be able to provide for my family. I also got lucky and got promoted a couple times in my federal job. And so while I didn't make enough money to completely support my wife and daughter by myself, I could last maybe 6-ish months financially before she would need to go back to work. Our daughter was born in March 2022. She is the coolest, smartest, most beautiful person I have ever seen. I am very lucky that I had 4 months of paid leave to take when she was born. The weird thing is, a month before I needed to return to work, my wife wanted to go back to work herself. She got 2 part-time jobs and kept one of them. She worked evenings as a server at a restaurant. She met another woman who was her co-worker at the restaurant, and I guess they fell for each other. I had no idea my wife was bisexual. We had sex, and she enjoyed it. If anything, my wife seemed to want sex with me more than I wanted it with her. Not that I didn't want sex with her. She just has a good sex drive. Of course, my wife introduced her to me as her friend, and because I never knew my wife was bisexual, I didn't suspect a thing. But her friend was over all the time. I saw her play and read to my daughter. My distrusting dog learned to love her, and I saw her as a family friend. I ever bought her a Christmas gift. Anyways, my wife told me about the affair on March 31st of this year. Because we live in Los Angeles County, and she is just a part-time server, and we don't have family in the area. She can't afford to live on her own. We are still living together 6 months later. I hate the amount of disrespect she showed me. I hate that she chose to do this after we had a daughter, not before. I hate that I still must take care of her. Unlike a lot of people, who I don't fault or judge, I knew the relationship was all but over when she told me. Right now, we are just playing out the after effects of her decision. I hate her lack of foresight and for her lack of responsibility. I am still hurting, but EMDR therapy has helped a ton. Reaching out to friends and family, exercise, journaling, and exercise has helped a lot too. TLDR. My wife cheated on me with another woman 8 months after our first daughter was born. She showed me no respect, having sex on our bed and letting her partner get close to me and our daughter before I knew about the affair. Story 2. Heart says stay and work through this. Head says have some self-respect and go. Hi everyone. 30 male. My wife, 27 female, of 7 weeks, together for 8 years, confessed to sleeping with another man who she'd been speaking with for the last 7 months. They met through this platform on Reddit and went from there to texting on WhatsApp and having video calls behind my back. She broke things off with him a few weeks/months before our wedding, but they started again in the weeks following. I had no idea. Last week we went on our mini-moon and they arranged to meet up. A few nights in, she went out whilst I was asleep and had sex with this guy. She said she instantly regretted her actions and spent the next few hours of the night crying before confessing to me the following evening. She was shaking and crying, saying how sorry she was and that she's ruined my life, whilst also wanting to do anything to fix it/take it back. I can see the guilt and remorse, but is that enough? This is 8 years of emotional, financial, physical commitment I have given just to be thrown away for one night plus 7 months of talking with a guy she had no feeling for, but was infatuated. She expressed losing her way with her mental health and it being a downward spiral to this point. She is using that as the reason why she decided to cheat, as well as feeling lonely in the relationship, but that was only because I was trying to look after her whilst she was mentally unwell and not capable of doing things such as cooking, cleaning and planning the wedding, etc. I haven't been a model partner, but I've always been loyal and tried my utmost to love and respect her. Surprisingly, she has been cheated on in her previous 2 relationships and was so against it morally. But the hypocrisy to that now is unreal. What hurts the most is that she had so many chances to shut this down over the past 7 months and didn't. She knew what she had in her now husband, but still decided not to choose me or even think about me in her decision-making. I supported her so much over the last few years, especially with her mental health struggles and finances with her taking time off work. Also, together with my parents, we spent 20K on a wedding, which now means so little as she was breaking the vows before and after committing to them. Despite all of the above, I really love this girl. She is my first love, and I had planned a life with her and our 2 cats, but she's messed big time. My heart wants to stick it out, and I've even thought about couples therapy. She has offered that too. But then my head is saying, why give her the chance? Have some self-respect. She makes me really happy. We have so much fun together, but I feel like there's this alter ego that comes out and ruins everything. I'm heartbroken and don't know what to do. We got on the flight home together, and we've talking a lot over the past few days, but I've got a life-changing decision to make, and I'm stuck in limbo. Keep going between both. Please help with advice.